cross the boundaries of what it means to transcend the physical world. This is achieved by walking a path, either carved from the masses over years and years, or newly rendered from the spontaneity of wandering adventurers. Choose to follow the path which is provided from this tour, courtesy of individuals who wish to take you on a journey of self-discovery. Exit the material world. Leave behind the architecture and enter the forest which beckons for all to enter. By traveling up a steep slope filled with gashes and covered with a film of dust, it is possible to reach a land that is populated by tiny little groups of people and tiny little clouds of smoke. Take a pit stop here. After this step, continue to travel to what is referred to as the outer edge, the extremity of this little abode in the middle of the gargantuan forest. It would be extremely difficult to convey exactly what to expect in this step of your journey process. Follow the unknown and venture out into this uncharted world. We will be expecting you.
As you can see, a large portion of the structure at the witch's hut has been taken down. What is left is about half of the walls coming up from the ground like a bird's nest. The witch's hut was deconstructed during the fall of 2010 due to UCSC regulation forcing the majority of its demolishment. However, there are still several remnants. In the center there are several large logs for sitting on that surround an overturned metal trash can. There used to be a hammock to the side of these amenities, providing a midnight escape for students. Imagine the social hub buzzing with life in the night, serving as a rest spot for weary feet.
This portion of the meadow, which, as you can see, is surrounded by the forest on three sides, is the portion of Porter Meadow in which students and visitors congregate for the unofficial celebration of 420. While the celebration is not sanctioned or well received by the university, the celebration has become so well known and popular that Santa Cruz City Police assist in the event in order to direct both vehicle and foot traffic. The celebration also draws food, drink, and edible vendors, as well as protesters disgusted by what they perceive to be a festival of immorality. Because of its proximity to the dorms and apartments of Porter and Kresge College, Porter Field is often littered with groups of students enjoying the sun, smoking, playing music, and so forth. As you walk through this open portion of the meadow, you should watch for these groups of students. The meadow is popular for this sort of recreational activity because it allows students to escape the civilized life of the colleges and experience the feeling of being on the fringe of society, all while being within 5 minutes of most students' homes. If you cross the path of some students during this video tour, you should pause it and try to talk with them. While Porter Meadow is valued for its natural beauty, much of the meaning visitors derive from it is from the people themselves. Therefore, to truly get a tour of the meadow, you should try and talk with the people. Almost everyone is friendly, and it would therefore be very unlikely that they would be taken aback by your outgoingness.
What's going on, I wondered as I stepped through the grass. Walking through the Porter Meadow with my class, I had a faint sense of something being different about this walk, though I'd walked through this place many times before. whether it's for exercise or random debauchery. Was this not the same meadow I'd known for over a year? Everything was changing, and it had been doing so day by day, so that the meadow of this year was not the meadow of last year. Grass died and regrew, and old landmarks like the witch's hut or the random recycling bin in the clearing were taken down. Even the trails changed, becoming overgrown with weeds or widened by the footsteps of students. At the same time, though, nothing has changed. The trees still stand in the same places, the trails head to the same destinations, and the grass still grows green. And though I recognize none of the people hanging out here, the crowd is still the usual meadow crowd of sunbathers and stoners. As I pondered this, I realized that I'm like the Porter Meadow in some respects. The grass, old opportunities I once had disappeared from my life, but new ventures haven't appeared to replace them. The landmarks, people who I considered a major part of my life, have passed on or simply left, leaving me to figure out how I define myself without their support. And the trails, the many pathways I choose, always change as I travel further. I'm the same person, but I'm completely changed as well. Who will I be next year? All I can really do is carry on.
One of my favorite trails begins at Empire Grade and continues on, branching off in many directions. Unfortunately, I have completely normalized this trail. It's not uncommon for me to zone out during a trek, or only notice memorable landmarks for the purposes of keeping a sense of time and space. It almost seems impossible to reintroduce myself to this walk, because there are really only two interpretations, forwards and back. No matter how hard I try, there is something about the confined nature of this path which makes it impossible to denaturalize. That being said, I have found myself merely wandering around the clearing which lies at the end of the journey. I would often come here to think. Being able to rest in an open area for an undetermined set of time allowed me to lavish in the significance of a particular moment. Being alone certainly aided me in denaturalizing this time. Though I was not alone in my use of this space, the clearing is a primary intersection for all nearby convergent trails. It sees some traffic as a result, though rarely, if ever, in heavy volume. Someone crafted a bike ramp out of a cut-up tree trunk. The jump is located at the bottom of a very steep uphill trail. Not only was this ramp publicly crafted, but it was also utilized by at least one other person, myself, though presumably more. Having this large open space creates a disorienting feel every time I encounter the region. It is ideal for genuine exploration because there are so many trails which branch off in different directions. One does not get the feeling that they are retracing their steps, but rather finding a new footing.
The Graffiti Bridge is yet another place that is constantly changing. Its transitory nature is due to the fact that a month from now there will be a new art covering up the old, layers upon layers of history hidden behind the recycling present. Take a moment to illuminate the shadowed walls and take in the art, appreciating those in the dark as well as the pieces spilling out from the mouth of either end. This never-ending collection of student perspective is always worth a visit. This bridge, the witch's hut, and all else here on campus are proof of the impermanence of humankind.